Well, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to, it's Bushka on Blitz here, and we're having a look today at this little beauty. What has a head like a racing tadpole and can carry it tier 9? The answer, of course, is the American Heavy, the M103. Now, little Shane Tampo, he's been campaigning for this, so good on you, Shano. This one is a winner. This is actually, I think, my most played heavy tank, possibly even my most played tank. I got this up to about 50% as a complete and utter noob at tier 9, 52%, something like that. And that's pretty impressive considering at the time all I did was basically drive up to hills, hull down and not move and let people shoot at me while I attempted to bounce them by positive thinking. I don't know. We've repaired it. We've got it up over 60% now, but wow, is it a good fun tank to drive. It's got a reasonable amount of mobility. It's got 28 degrees of traverse on its tracks, which is actually the best part about it in terms of mobility and fighting off medium tanks. Before the Conqueror turned up, it also had probably the most elite gun handling in a tier 9 heavy tank. But now the Conq obviously holds that title. It's got an incredible gun. Before I go any further, this is a Patreon sponsored post. We've had an awful lot of Patreon sponsorship going on and a lot of people turning up and participating in the channel, the comments, the likes, all that kind of thing. The month of madness is continuing on and you people are being superb. You're as excited and enthusiastic as this wild YOLOing IS-8. Look at him go. Isn't he loving life? Just invested in the moment. So the M103, back to it. The M103 is one of my favourite heavy tanks. And look, it's a brilliant tank to learn how to hull down and all that kind of thing in because it's strong enough to flex and move to new situations, but it's not overpowered. If you sit still, you're going to get panned. And if people want to throw heat at you, you're going to get panned. We're actually in a pretty bad spot here. There are tanks all around us and we're in the guts, the pit of despair on Black Goldville. Yes, I've not been back to this area since this game because it's pretty bad. Oh, have a look at this. Right, you see the yellow heat trail coming from Mr. T-54, all well and good. And then we get the unidentified flying comet, just a little comet tail. What's that? What's that? Where'd that go? Mysteries and unexpected X-Files with Bushka on Blitz. The 103, 28 degrees of traverse, only 20 degrees of traverse on its turret, which is actually quite a surprise. I thought there was more than that. It feels like there's more than that. But the gun handling is pretty sweet. 2.3 second aim time and 0.37 dispersion on that kind of mobility means you can take a few snapshots and make them. You've also got oodles of pen, 258mm of pen on your AP rounds and 340mm of pen on your heat, which is huge and means that you only really need to draw that stuff out when you 100% want to make sure that you're going to get it through. Now, top speed is only 34 kilometers an hour, but it's a lot like the medium version of the FV4202. You hit it pretty well and often. And when I talk about flexing, that's what this tank is really good at. You can see you can move from one situation to the next really well. And I'm going to show that in the gameplay. We're going to have a look at a game on mines where we do get around a bit and make some really good tactical decisions, which the M103 lets us execute. I also want to show you a really important part of the game, and that's how the M103 can use its turret. Now, the turret is weak on either side of the gun mantlet. You do have very, very poor sections there that can be hit. But if you're moving around a lot and you actually use it correctly, you're going to see how it can be super effective. And let's have a look at that actually right now, because I think if you're going to be playing this tank, you need to know the fallback position for when you're in real trouble and you need to get some good shots off and do the business. Then this is it. Now, you'll note how I'm kind of sideways on the hill at points here. I'm not just sitting on the flat ground. You've got enough gun depression. You've got 8 degrees of gun depression to actually put shots in here without really struggling. And as you go on the hill and go around the hill like this, they see a very, very, very strong armor profile, and it's actually quite difficult. And what I did to illustrate it was get iBoss, my good mate iBoss, he's the clan leader from Metal Storm, to pop in a training room with me and simulate this exact situation here. So you guys can see why the Reds weren't really wasting time trying to hit me, and how it looks from that point up there, shooting back towards the M103. When it's on this hill, it's kind of going on a slope around the angle of the hill, and hull downing on a slight sideways tilt. Now you can see that's where I was, that's where iBoss is. Even with 340 millimeters of penetration on the heat rounds, you can see just how much red and how hard it is to hit an M103 that is moving backwards and forwards on a slight angle around a hill, hull down like that. That's a tough ass to hit, and you've got to be sitting still and wasting time aiming to do it. And he's still having absolutely no problems putting shots over. Now that is your strong point. That's what you want to keep going back to time and again whenever possible in this tank, because Lord knows that is how you will farm. Now the gun itself, 5.36 rounds a minute, 340 on your heat, as I said, 258 on your AP, all well and good. 0.37 dispersion, right up there. 2.3 second aim time, certainly fine for a heavy, much better than most of the Russian dudes you're going to deal with. Where it falls down is probably, it's a little low on the DPM side, but you're a Pika Boom tank and you've got a lot of utility. So it's not the end of the world, and it's certainly lovely for a heavy tank. Now, you're going to see here that platoon of T-54s takes the hill, and there's a whole lot of red in front of them, and I don't know, we've got a KV-4 flanking on the left. Yeah, things are going all right. What I'm going to do with the M103, use that mobility, turn around quickly, get up here, and I'm going to, it might look quite idiotic, but what I'm doing by pushing up this hill, I'm getting as close to that T-54 as possible. And you'll note he doesn't drop off camo, and the reason he's not dropping off camo, and he's actually going to take a couple of hits and not be able to put shots in effectively, is because I'm perma-spotting him by being close enough. Now, that's one way of doing things, but I obviously can't stay there the entire match, and I've given the team a bit of a look at where he is and a bit of an idea on what they need to do to fend off disaster. And now I'm going to back up, set myself against the rock so that anyone coming on the right-hand side can't actually pen me, and I'm going to put one straight through his front drive wheel. Now, I've switched to heat here because I absolutely want to make this count, and I was hoping someone else would be in a position to take advantage of that, but no such luck. So we did the right thing. We got the shot we wanted. We just couldn't pull it off. Now he's moved back. I'm waiting for him to bugger off far enough that I can move without... There he is. He's dropped off camo, so I've probably dropped off his camouflage as well. And I'm now going to push up really, really quickly. This is why I love this tank. Look at all the movement we're getting here. And he's done it. I knew he'd be coming over. He thought there's no shots for me over there. I'm going to move all the way around here and... Bango, pango, happy days, everyone's a winner. The IS-3 Defender's on a reload, I'm pretty certain of that, so I'm going to put one into him. Otherwise, he would have been shooting me already. And back off. Look at the gun handling. It's fine and dandy for what you need. And we're just really working this. Remember that shot I just showed you of iBoss, how he was really hard to penetrate? Well, that's exactly what I'm doing here. Rich Like an MP is on the right-hand side there. He's been the rock, the ST1. He held him there while I mucked around at the back. Looks like that T-54 gave up the ghost. Maybe went link dead as he tried to cross over. Can't help it. I'm going to cop one from behind, moving up here. I think it's a Type 61 who was camping Lighthouse. I don't mind. I just want to nut that T-54. And I've noticed that over there is our scent. And he's got two on him. So it's 2 on 3 at the moment. M103, very mobile, very quick, good gun depression. If I can get over there in time, I'm going to be able to put shots on both those tanks, possibly save a teammate, and kill a couple of Reds into the bargain. Now, we set the shot up, but lo and behold, the IS-8 decides he's going to push first. We've already got here. You've got to love that. The IS-8, super mobile tank, really lovely. Doesn't have quite the gun depression and the gun handling of the M103, but it's still pretty handy. And there you go, the Scent Mark 1 gets the SU-101, worked out a treat. It's now a 2-on-1, but he's a one-shot, so I want him to stay there. That's why I'm saying negative. I'm actually telling him, just cap. I want him to cap. I'll draw the fire in. He sits back. Yeah, he's not going to do it. He's going to move forward. The reason I don't like that is because the Type 61 is probably moving towards him right now because he's a one-shot and the 61 sees him. His eyes are bigger than his tummy. And sure enough, he's going to pop up there in just a second, and the scent is going to be in licorice all sorts. So this has not been the biggest damage game. It's not been amazing in terms of putting shots and kills, but what I've really liked about it, the reason I chose this game over the 4 and the 5k variety of game that you can have in this tank, is because it shows its ability to move about the battlefield and manufacture shots. And you can see this Type 61 is going to bail. Now I've got to make a decision here. I see there's 2:24 on the clock. By the time I turn around and get everything going on, it's just going to be easy to kill him here. There we go. And you'll see, even now, I just start traversing before he gets here. And look at it cover him. It's not the fastest tank, the 61, but we certainly covered him very easily. And there's the win. What a bad boy that tank is. It really does allow you to express yourself as a heavy tank. More like a heavium than anything else, but strong, with a lot of utility. And if you put it in the right situation, hull down, coming off the side of a hill where you're also allowing that upper glacis to meet the edge of the hill like iBoss was doing for me, then you can really bounce a lot of shots and hold a line like a champion. So that's the M103. I love the tank. I'm going to keep driving it. There's some beautiful tanks at Tier 9. For me, it's probably my favourite tier. There's some great heavies. There's some lovely mediums. I wish there was light tanks at Tier 9. I always think that they should re-specify the 2 Leopards as light tanks and give us a Tier 9 and Tier 10 light tank run. But that's up to Wargaming, not me, and who am I to put silly ideas in their head? Hope you enjoyed that, boys and girls. It's a fantastic little tank. I love driving it. I'm sure you will too. Leave your comments. Make sure to like the videos, you grubs. Like them. Leave your comments and subscribe away. Tell your friends, tell your family. Come on down. We're doing deals all week at Bush Grand Blitz. And if you do want to sponsor the channel, there's a link. Little as a dollar. Rock on, amigos, and stay safe on the battlefield.